Hello everyone and welcome to this video tutorial on subqueries in SQL by Simplilearn. In this video, we will learn what is a subquery and look at the different types of subqueries. Then we'll learn subqueries with select statement followed by subqueries with insert statement. Moving further, we will learn subqueries with the update statement, and finally we look at subqueries with delete statement. All this we will be doing on our MySQL workbench. So before I begin, make sure to subscribe to the Simplilearn channel and hit the bell icon to never miss an update. So let's start with what is a subquery. So a subquery is a select query that is enclosed inside another query. So if I show you, this is how the basic structure of a subquery looks like. So here, whatever is present inside the brackets is called as the inner query, and whatever is present outside is called the outer query. So first, the inner query gets executed and the result is returned to the outer query, and then the outer query operation is performed. Alright, now let's see an example. So we have a question at hand, which is to write a SQL query to display department with maximum salary from employees table. So this is how our employees table looks like. It has the employee ID, the employee name, age, gender, we have the date of join, department, city and salary. Now to solve this query, my subquery would look like this. So I'll first select the department from my table, that is employees, where I'll use the condition salary equal to, and then I'll pass in my inner query, which is select max of salary from employees. So what this does is it will first return the maximum salary of the employees in the table. Then our outer query will get executed based on the salary returned from the inner query. So here the output is department sales has the maximum salary. So one of the employees from the sales department earns the highest or the maximum salary. If you see in our table, the employee is Joseph, who earns $115,000. Alright, and Joseph is from the sales department. Now let's see how this query works. So here we have another question, which is to find the name of the employee with maximum salary in the employees table. So this is our previous employees table that we saw, and to find the employee who has the maximum salary, my subquery would look something like this. So I'm selecting the employee name from my table, that is employees, where I'm using the condition salary equal to, and then I'm passing in my subquery or the inner query. So first I'm selecting the maximum salary. This will return a particular value, that is the highest salary from the table. And if you see our table, the highest salary is $115,000. So our query becomes select employee name from employees where salary equal to $115,000. So the employee name is Joseph here, and that's the output. Now if you want to break it down, here you can see first the inner query gets executed. So our SQL query will first execute the inner query that is present inside brackets, select maximum salary from employees. The result is $115,000, and then based on the returned result, our outer query gets executed. So the query becomes select employee name from employees where salary equal to $115,000, and that employee is Joseph. Alright, now we'll learn the different types of subqueries. So you can write subqueries using select statement, update statement, delete and insert statement. We'll explore each of this with the help of example on my MySQL workbench. So let's learn subqueries with the select statement. So subqueries are majorly used with the select statement, and this is how the syntax looks like. You select the column name from the table name, then you have the where condition followed by the columns that you want to pass, the operator, and inside that you have the subquery. So here is an example that we will perform on our MySQL workbench. So in this example, we want to select all the employees who have a salary less than average salary for all the employees. This is the output. So let's do this on my MySQL workbench. Alright, so let me log into my local instance. I'll give my password. Okay, so you can see I'm on my MySQL workbench. So let's start by writing our subquery using the select statement. Okay, so for this demo session, we'll be using a database that is Subqueries. You can see it here. I have a database called Subqueries. So I'll use this Subqueries database and we'll create a few tables as well. Okay, now if I run it, now we are inside the Subqueries database. So let me just show you the tables that are present inside this database. I'll write show tables. If I run it, okay, there are two tables, employees and employees underscore B. We'll use this table throughout our demo session. Alright, now for our select subquery, we want to fetch the employee name, the department and the salary whose salary is less than the average salary. So we will be using the employees table. So let me first show you the records and the columns we have in the employees table. So I'll write select star from employees and run it. Okay, you can see here we have 20 rows of information. We have the employee name, the employee ID, age, gender, date of join, department, city and salary. So this is the same table that we saw in our slides. Okay, now for our subquery, I'll write select. I want to choose the employee name, the department and the salary. There should be a comma here instead of a period. Next, I'll give my table name, that is employees, where my salary is less than, and after this I'll start my inner query or the subquery. I'll write select average salary. So I'm using the avg function to find the average salary of all the employees from my table, that is employees. If I give a semicolon and run this, you'll see the output. So we have total 12 employees in the table whose salary is less than the average salary. Now if you want, you can check the average salary. So the average salary is $75,350. Now the employees who have a salary less than the average salary, so these are the people. Alright, now moving back to our slides. Okay, now let's see how you can use subqueries with the insert statement. Now the insert statement uses the data written from the subquery to insert into another table. So this is how the syntax looks like. So you write insert into table name followed by select individual columns or star from the table, use the where clause, and then you give the operator followed by the inner query or the subquery. So here we will explore a table called products table. We are going to fetch few records from the products table based on a condition, that is the selling price of the product should be greater than $100. So only those records will fetch and put it in our orders table. Alright, so we are going to write this query on my MySQL workbench. So let's do it. I'll give my comment as update subquery. Alright, so first of all, let's create a table that is products. So I'll write create table products. Then we'll give our column names. The first column would be the product ID of type integer. Then we have the column as item or the product, which is of type varchar 30. Next we have the selling price of that product. The selling price will be of type float. And finally we have another column which is called the product type. And again, product type is of the data type varchar. I'll give the size as 30, close the bracket and give a semicolon. Now let's just run it. Okay, so we have successfully created our products table. Now let's insert a few records to our products table. So I'll write insert into products followed by values. I'll give 4 records. The first product ID is 101. The product is let's say jewelry, then the selling price is, let's say, $800, and the product type is, it's a luxury product. Next, let's insert one more product detail. The product ID is 102. The product is, let's say, t-shirt. The price is, let's say, $100, and the product type is non-luxury. Next, I'll just copy this to reduce our task. We'll edit this. The third product's ID is 103. The product is laptop, and let's say the price is $1,300, and it's a luxury product. I'll paste again, and finally I'll enter my fourth product, which is, let's say, table, and the price is $400, and it's a non-luxury product. I'll give a semicolon, and we'll insert these 4 records to our products table. You can see we have inserted 4 records. Let's just print it now. So I'll write select star from products. If I run it, you can see we have our 4 products ready. Now we need to create another table where we are going to put some records from our products table. So that new table is going to be the orders table. So I'll write create table orders. Now it will have 3 columns. The order ID will be of type integer. Then we have product underscore sold. This will be of type varying character of size 30. And finally we have the selling price column. This will be of type float. Let's create our orders table. The table name should be orders, and there is some mistake here. Okay, you should close the brackets. Okay, let me run it. So we have our orders table ready. Now let's write our insert subquery. So I am going to insert into my table, that is orders, and I'll select the product ID, comma, the item, and the selling price or the sell price from my table, that is products, where I'll write product ID in. I'll write my inner query select prod ID or the product ID from products. Next, I'll give a where clause where the selling price is greater than $1,000. So let me tell you what I am going to do here. I am going to insert into my orders table the product ID, the item name, and the selling price from my products table, where the product ID has this condition. So let me first run this condition for you, which is select prod ID from products where the selling price is greater than 1000. If I run this, okay, there is some issue here. The column name is actually prod ID. Now let's run it again so that we can see the product IDs of the products which have a selling price greater than 1000. So it is 101 and 103. Now let's run the entire query. There is another mistake here. Let's debug the mistake. Now this should be product ID instead of product underscore in. Let's insert again. Alright, so we have successfully inserted 2 records to our table, that is orders. Now let's see the orders table. I'll write select star from orders. If I run it, there you go. So there were 2 products from our product table that were jewelry and laptop, which have a selling price greater than $1,000. So the selling price for jewelry was $1,800 and for laptop it was $1,300. So this is how you can use a subquery using the insert statement. Alright, now going back to our slides again. Alright, now let's see how you can use subqueries with the update statement. Now the subqueries can be used in conjunction with the update statement. So either single or multiple columns in a table can be updated when using a subquery with the update statement. So this is how the basic syntax of an update subquery looks like. So you write update table followed by the table name, you set the column name, you give the where operator, and then you write your inner subquery. So we are going to see an example where we will use this employees table, and using this employees table we will update the records of the salaries of the employees by multiplying it with a factor of 0.35 only for those employees which have age greater than 27. So we are going to use a new table called employees_b for this as well. So let's see how to do it. So I'll give my comment as update subquery. Before we see the subquery, let's see what we have in the table employees_b. This is basically a replica of the employees table. There you go. It has the same records that our employees table has. We are going to use both the employees table and the employees_b table to update our records. So I'll write update employees set salary equal to, let me bring this to the next line. I'll write set salary equal to salary multiplied by 0.35, where age in, then I'll write select age from my other table, that is employees_b, where age is greater than or equal to, let's say 27. Alright, so let me run through this query and tell you what we are going to do. So I'm going to update the records of the employees table specifically for the salary column. So I'm checking if the age is greater than 27, then we'll multiply the salaries of the employees with a factor of 0.35 in the employees table. Let me just run this, then we'll see our output. Okay, so it says 18 rows affected, which means there are total 18 employees in the table out of the 20 employees whose age is greater than 27. Now if you see, I'll write select star from employees. You can see the difference in the salaries. If I scroll to the right, you can see these are the updated salaries. Okay. Now if you check for employees who have an age less than or equal to 27, for example Marcus, whose age is 25, his salary is the same. We haven't updated his salary. Then if you see, if we have, okay, there is one more employee, Maya. We haven't updated the salary of Maya because the age is less than 27. Alright, now let's go back to our slides again. As you can see, we got the same output on our MySQL workbench. Now let's explore how you can write subqueries with the delete statement. Now subqueries can again be used in conjunction with the delete statement. So this is how the basic syntax of a delete query using subquery would look like. You write delete from the table name, where clause, the operator value, followed by the inner query in within brackets. So here we are going to use the employees table, and what we are going to do is we'll delete the employees whose age is greater than or equal to 27. So let's see how you can do it. Alright, so I'll give my comment as delete subquery. So we'll follow the syntax that we saw. I'll write delete from my table name, that is employees. I'll write where age in, and then I'll start my inner query or the subquery. I'll write select age from employees underscore B, where age is, let's say, greater than equal to 32, or let's say the age is less than equal to 32. Close the bracket and I'll give my semicolon. Let me first run the inner query for you so that you get an idea of the employees who are less than 32 years of age. So there are 9 employees in the table who have an age less than equal to 32. So we are going to delete the records. If I run this, okay, it says 9 records deleted. Now let's print or display what we have in the employees table. If I run this, there you go. So if you see the age table, we have total 11 employees now, and all their ages are greater than 32 because we have deleted all those employees who had an age less than equal to 32. Okay, so let me show you from the beginning what we did. So first we used our Subqueries database, then we used our employees table. So we started by looking at how you can use the subquery with a select statement. This should be insert instead of update. So we learned how to write an insert subquery. We use 2 tables, products and our orders table. Moving ahead, we saw how to write subqueries using the update command. So we updated the salaries of the employee by a factor of 0.35 for those who had an age greater than equal to 27. And finally, we saw how to use the subquery using the delete statement. So we deleted all those records for the employees whose age was less than equal to 32. So that brings us to the end of this video on subqueries in SQL. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, then please feel free to put them in the comment section. We'll be happy to help you. Thank you for watching and keep learning.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.